I'm not surprised, disappointed, not surprised. What we see here is the same law firm with the same motives attacking what I think is just an excellent opportunity or a piece of legislation that supports families, supports children, and I'm disappointed that we have chosen to take this and fight this possibly in the court system. The focus really should be on the kids. What happens when adults in our school systems fight is that the children suffer. And, you know, I've always believed that educational options for families and children, civil rights issue of today's time. And just like in the past, when we've had other issues, there have been situations where the kids are the ones who lose out the most, and I think this is going to play out the same way. I have a parent in my district who has had several challenges in Tulsa so far, and so I had some inkling that this would happen, that of course there would be school systems that would not want to honor this piece of legislation and a scholarship. But I will say that for many of the parents in my district, and I have family members who have children with special needs, they really believe that this is a good opportunity for those kids who need extra help that they're not getting it presently in the district.
I think the actions of the school districts really are grotesquely irresponsible. This law was designed to help children that are in special education, and to have a law that's in place that, on the face of it meets constitutional muster, to have a school board just say, we're just not going to follow the law, is irresponsible. And they've done it in such a way as to inflict the maximum amount of harm and injury on these families, on these kids. They could have gone and asked the court for summary or declaratory judgment earlier. They could have asked the AG to issue an opinion, but they've chosen to basically find the most grievous way of trying to settle this legal challenge. It's one thing, and during the session it was obvious that people had a wide variety of opinions about this idea. The reality is it did become law. It was a bipartisan effort supported by the governor, a bipartisan group of legislators, and for them to not use other legal options at their disposal to check and see if their concerns were founded, they wait and force these families that already don't have the means to go to the private school to find the money to sue them, which is what's going to have to happen now. These parents that are harmed are going to have to come up with the money. Most of them simply don't have, and I think it's extremely irresponsible. We're supposed to. Case law in Oklahoma says that you're supposed to presume that a law is constitutional until it's been ruled on by a court. And here they're acting like the prosecutor, judge, and jury as a school board, and it's just irresponsible. It's not. They don't have the authority to do that. They don't have the duty to do that. What they need to do is implement the law and go ask the court, or they should have already asked the court to weigh in on it, and they haven't done it. They're going to force families to have to do that. And I think if that's any indication, the way they're treating families this way, if that's any indication about how families are treated when they're in IEP meetings individually with the school district, I can see why these families, are fleeing these programs. I just can't imagine a more obnoxious way to handle this situation. I'm extremely disappointed and hopeful that maybe they'll reverse course before we end up with families having to file lawsuits, but we'll see. I think that's what they're doing here because that's what they do through the IEP process. I'm told by numerous families that the families just don't have the time and the resources. The school districts do. So the school districts, through the due process procedures for their students that are in special education, is to drag the process out, knowing that the family just will never be able to keep up financially with that. And it looks to me like this is more of that, and it's It's an abuse of the power that they do have, and a dereliction of the responsibility they do have to implement the law. So I'm just thoroughly disgusted by their actions, and I think we'll have to see what happens, but I just don't know.